Welcome back to IELTS 9. What you're about to watch is a recording of one of the recent lessons that I had with one of my favorite students. He's preparing for the TOEFL test. And in this lesson, we went over the TOEFL writing task 1, we broke it down, and he actually wrote his plan for his first draft. And before you start the video, I recommend going to the links down below in the description and just write your own plan after you listen to the lecturer and you read the other passage. And then watch the video and just read the text with us, with me and the student, and make changes if necessary. And whenever you are ready, you can submit the writing on our website. I hope you find it helpful, and I hope to hear from you. Let's begin. So let's go over one together and see what happens.
Because sometimes I get a problem. I know the information, but I don't know how to work with this task. Meaning how to maybe not misunderstood, but miss some critical points or some.
Usually that the problem that a lot of students have is not regarding the 3 advantages or 3 stories or 3 points in the body paragraph. It's almost always in the intro. So the students usually, I'm not sure about your issue, but what students get wrong is almost always position A and position B, or stance A from the writer and stance B from the lecturer. So let's see if we can we'll try it with a few different reading passages.
Okay.
So let's read this and tell me what the writer thinks and what is his position regarding this issue. So tell me what the issue is, and then tell me the writer's position, and the lecturer should be obvious after that point, whether they agree or disagree.
Genetic modification, a process used to alter an organism's genes and thereby change.
Thereby, as a result, changing its characteristics.
Change its characteristic is how being applied in improved trees. Through genetic modification, it is possible to create trees that produce more fruit, grow faster, and withstand all adverse environmental conditions. Planting genetically modified trees on a large scale promises several benefits.
So, it's very common for the test to give you some background information about the topic at hand. We are talking about genetically modifying plants.
Yeah.
Usually that's going to be about fruit and vegetables that we use, but this time it's just about trees in general and plants in general.
Okay.
So, what is genetic modification? We don't really care too much about it now. I mean, it's good if you do, but we can just call it genetic modification without really having any information about it. And through genetic modification, it means by using it, we can create trees that produce more fruit, so they are more productive, they grow faster, and they can withstand, meaning tolerate or survive adverse environmental conditions, bad weather, let's say.
Yes, I got it.
Or
if I would like to
drought.
I would like to start the reading, may I say that genetic modification are very popular. They can
No. You shouldn't say that.
No? Okay, because it's not about the popularity. It is just of general information about it, right?
A good point that it's not about popularity, but even if it was about popularity, where would you get that claim from? There is nowhere in the passage that you can point to.
Because because if I have a good beginning, I will have good examples and etc. Because if I start on a good way, I will go on a good way. So may I say that the genetic modification are
you can describe it. You can explain it in your own writing if you want to. So you can rephrase this part. You can say genetic modification is when we change a tree's genes
of the trees to create trees that produce more fruits, grow faster, and withstand with bad weather.
Very nice. Could
and
be.
The
so you combined the 2 sentences, said which is fine. So this is actually the reason why we do it. So we change a tree's organism to create more productive, stronger, and better plants.
Okay. And may I say that the writer is a great fan of this?
I would avoid.
Writer believes.
Avoid using things like
beneficial.
Also, sorry for interrupting. I guess we have a delay. I would recommend not saying things like he's a great fan, he's a big fan. Keep it professional and keep it clear.
So he believes that it could be that genetic modification could be beneficial.
Very nice. Has several benefits. Not just that it's beneficial. I mean, it's not wrong to say that. But when he says several benefits, that's also your hint that, okay, these 3 paragraphs are going to be 3 different advantages of
that's
genetic
that's why I'm
modification.
asking, because I believe that I will find this information and probably I will know how to compare it. But okay,
let's put it this way. Let's say writer likes it and the lecturer is probably against it. Let me just check that. It's possible for them to agree, which changes the structure a little. We'll also work on a passage that does that. But this time I think they are going to disagree.
Now listen to part of a lecture on the topic you just read about.
Sure, there's some benefits to planting genetically modified trees, but...
What is she going to say next?
But there are also some problems.
So that's going to be negative. Just based on how she started, sure, it can be positive. When you start it that way, it means you are going to also say that, well, but it's not as good as some people think. So now it's possible that they completely disagree on the premise. So one person says this is going to help the environment. The other person says no. Or maybe sometimes they agree on the idea. So the writer says it's going to help the environment. The lecturer also says, yes, it will help the environment, but, and then disagree on something else. But this solution is not, this strategy that the writer proposes is not good. Or yes, it can help the environment, but it causes other problems. Or yes, it can help the environment, but it cannot be used worldwide. It can only be used in certain cities or countries. So maybe they disagree completely, which is common in the test. But sometimes they don't disagree completely. They just disagree on the methods that should be used or the location of the plant.
So they said that, okay, it could be good idea, but so I will, if I will write it, I can say it. The lecturer believes or says that it could be a benefit, but it also needs hard working or something like this.
Very nice. Sure. You can do that, or you can use although, or for example, even though, or let's say, yeah, let's go with although. Although the writer and the lecturer agree on this, whatever it is, being beneficial to the environment, they disagree on, and then you say the things that they disagree on. They disagree on the methods that should be used, or they disagree on the strategies that we can implement. So that's a good way of doing it, but most of the time they disagree completely, so you can also just say, while the writer believes that this is going to help the animals in the area.
I remember this one on the Chinese website. It was about Salton Sea, Salton Lake, something like this.
We did that one actually together as well.
Yeah, we made it together, and I remember that it was that the lecturer was saying that yes, it's a good idea, but has different. It will be hard to do because of something.
Very nice. So it's very important that I remember your writing for this one, and one of the things that we tried to fix was you would say they disagree, although they don't really disagree. They agree that it can be used, but they disagree on how effective it's going to be. The writer said it's going to fix the problem completely, but the lecturer said, well, it can help in some small areas, but it's not going to just fix the problem overall. So it's very important to get both sides. So we have the writer saying it's positive for 3 reasons, and the lecturer is probably going to disagree with the reasons. Lecturer is not going to bring up new points. He or she will just tell you why the writer's points are not good, and it's your job to show the connection between the two. So let's get the writer's advantages. In the easiest way possible, shortest way possible.
Okay, so first, genetically modified trees are designed to be more resilient than natural trees,
And
meaning
in this case, they are even giving you the definition of resilient. Something that is resilient is more
they
likely
are
to
more
survive.
likely to survive under adverse conditions. So they stay alive even is a bad weather.
More resilient or stronger, and the weather. Then it says, for instance, the example you can ignore. You don't really need to pay attention to the example. Now, later you can come back to it. But for now, we just needed this. Okay, so they become more resilient. For instance, in Hawaii,
A pest-resistant species of papaya trees has been developed in response to repeated outbreaks of ring spot virus, which had severely damaged the native papaya population. The introduction of genetically modified papayas has largely resolved the ring spot issue.
so there was a type of virus. So also I added pest to this part. Because when we talked about resilience, we said, okay, this is probably going to be against hot weather or rain or storms.
Okay.
But the writer is actually talking about a virus, so pest. Now, what do you think the lecturer is going to say now that we know she is going to disagree? Yes, but this wasn't because of the
it could be external reason, maybe that the farmers do something. So it was not only one reason why they.
Very nice. So the cause wasn't only this. So yes, it was helpful, but not just because the thing didn't happen just because of the trees. Or she can say, well, it was completely irrelevant because at the same time that we planted these trees, something else happened or something else changed, and that was 100% responsible for the ring spot virus disappearing. For example, we had a new type of medicine that actually fixed it. It wasn't the trees. Or maybe she can say, so these are the different ways this can go, this can take place. She may say, yes, it was beneficial, but it caused other issues. But it actually killed the type of endangered bird that we really wanted to protect. So, yeah, those are possible ways this can go. What about this one, too?
Moreover, genetically modified trees offer several economic advantages for those who cultivate them. These trees tend to grow more quickly, produce higher yields of fruit, wood, or other products, and are more resilient. So, big income.
Just money and but why are they financially viable? Why are they better financially? Because they give you more fruit, more wood, or whatever product we are. Maybe syrup, maybe like a sap that we get from the tree.
Yep.
Whatever it is, more of it means more money. So they are more productive, which means more money. Okay. As a result, farmers can achieve faster and greater returns on their investment while reducing costs such as the need for pesticides. Now, the lecturer can disagree with this and say they still need pesticides and they even need more expensive ones. So, it's not going to save any money here. Similar to the broccoli passage and how we said transportation costs will go down, but other costs will go up. And maybe she disagrees completely and she says they don't actually give you a higher yield, which I think is not very likely because we do know that GMOs actually give you much higher yields. And they also taste good. I don't know why everyone hates GMOs. I actually have lots of tomatoes in the background. And the organic ones are dying, and the GMOs are just giving me tons and tons of tomatoes that actually taste really nice.
I remember that the most stupid things about GMO that I ever heard is that bananas from South America, if they are sent to Union Europe, they have to be straight. They cannot be like this kind of shape.
Magic, are you sure that European people know what bananas look like? because
I know how they look like, and I
but
know what's the color.
I have never seen a banana looking straight.
Believe me,
That's
so we have the straight bananas.
you have magic. I
You know,
know.
the shape of the banana have to be more have to be straight. You know.
Are you sure it's we are talking about
Yeah, I can show
bananas?
you. Maybe I don't have today bananas, but
No,
I will show
no,
you.
no, no. Let's not
So,
talk about
here's the-
straight bananas. I'm a child. I'm sorry. let's see.
Okay, finally,
I just imagined a bunch of European politicians sitting in a room together with suits
yeah,
on.
why do we have the bananas in that kind of shape? It's
Why are bananas not straight?
stupid.
We have to do something about
We
this.
need different bananas.
I want straight bananas in my life. So I can imagine holding a champagne with like, okay, let's got them. So
Finally, genetic
also for taste, I will send you a video that it's like this is from like 15, 20 years ago. It's a TV show called Penn and Teller's Bullshit. And in every episode, they talk about the common myth that a lot of people believe in. And they try to disprove it, like Mythbusters, but in a different way.
Okay, yeah, I got
And
it. Yeah.
they go to the streets, they take one banana, cut it in half, put it in two different plates, and they say one is organic, one is not organic. And they keep like giving it to different people and asking for their opinion. And like 99% of people are like, oh my God, the organic one is so sweet, it's better. And they give them the GMO one. They're like, it tastes like chemicals. It's the same banana. It's amazing how it works. So
But I remember the research that this is very popular in Europe. That we say that some researchers asked American people who gives the chocolate milk, and people answer that brown cows.
that's not. Look, I know Europeans like to think that Americans are dumb, but
Yes, but it is both sides.
I disagree. Maybe I'm biased towards America, but look, I have lived here for a long time, relatively, and I have talked to a lot of Americans. No one is that stupid. Yes, I'm sure you can find some retard somewhere who says, yes, chocolate milk comes from like brown cows or like. I have to be very careful going in this direction from cows, but
I'm normal one, so I still believe that I was born in the wrong country.
I mean, you are in the best part of Europe. That's your country, and the surrounding ones around it are the only European countries that I actually respect. So it's one of the best ones. And it's funny how you and the other countries that I respect are also friendly. So Poland, Czech, and Hungary, these are the only ones that I actually like in Europe. In terms of politics, not people. Except France. I hate France and its people. But that's a different topic. Now let's see. Let's get number 3.
We got the same feeling.
Number 3.
Finally, genetically modified trees can help prevent the overexploration of wild trees.
Exploitation. Exploit,
yeah.
When we use something for our benefit.
Yep.
And over means too much. So it means we are really taking too much from the land or from the trees.
And prevent overexploitation of wild trees. Due to increasing demand for firewood and timber, forests are being cut down faster than they can naturally regenerate. By planting
regenerate, it means come back or grow back.
By planting genetically modified trees, which are specifically designed to grow quickly and provide high yields under specific conditions, the demand for wood could be met while protecting endangered native tree species, many of which are unique or rare.
So, protect. Protect wildlife. We could call that the last advantage. Why do you think how can the lecturer be against this? I mean, saving rare trees and saving unique trees is going to be good. But why do you think the lecturer disagrees?
He can say that if we have faster grow, we can cut it faster.
Okay, but
So
that's also the
even
writer. The writer is saying that with the GMOs, because they grow faster and we can actually grow them more easily, we are going to use them instead of using the wild trees that are growing
the
in
wild
nature.
is okay.
The argument is not whether we should use GMOs or not. It's the writer is saying GMOs are faster and better and more productive than wild trees. So if we want paper, for example, we need timber. Or if we want firewood. Or timber for like building houses in America. Just any form of just furniture. We need lots of wood. And if we want to get it from the forest, from the actual jungles, then we are going to run out of trees because they grow slowly, relatively. And the genetically modified trees grow fast. So we can grow these and just use these for the production of whatever we have and firewood. And then we leave the jungles alone so they can grow back and we don't even harm them in the process.
Okay, so the opposite situation could be that it's not a good material, so we will still use wildlife.
Maybe, or maybe that it's not true that it doesn't hurt nature. By, for example, in order to have these farms where we grow trees, also tree farms are actually a thing. Just like how we grow vegetables, we also grow trees for papers and companies. So maybe she says by doing that, we are actually like disturbing the ecosystem, and animals have to be displaced, and then, or maybe it increases the risk for floods because now there is a land that is like flat. I don't know what she's going to say, but let's see. So for each point, we are probably going with a yes, but I'm going to assume that.
Sure, there's some benefits to planting genetically modified trees, but are these trees really as great as they first sound? When you examine the subject closely, there are some serious problems and costs associated with using genetically modified trees. First,
now we are here.
Genetically modified trees may be resistant to one particular condition, but that doesn't necessarily ensure their survival. You see, a typical non-modified tree population is genetically diverse. That means that for most threatening conditions, poor climate, insects and other pests, whatever, there will be at least some individual trees of any given species of tree that are resistant. So even if most of one kind of tree are killed, those few resistant ones will survive and ensure the survival of that species of tree. But genetically modified trees are genetically much more uniform. So if they're exposed to an environmental challenge they haven't been designed for, they'll all die. So if the climate changes or a new pest invades an area, the genetically modified trees will likely be completely wiped out.
Okay, we have the first point. And for myself, I took these notes, but I want you to tell me what you got from her first criticism.
Okay, so for this disagreement, it will be that there are some conditions that the GMO are not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe so the speaker explained that sometimes it could be a good idea to use them, but sometimes it's not working.
Okay, let's get to the details. That is the main position. Okay, we know that she thinks it's not always great. But what is her first point specifically about? So when you said there can be things that they are not ready for, she actually talked about that in more detail.
That they are not ready for a changing climate?
That's an example. So let me ask it this way. So if there is a new type of disease or a new type of... there is a change in climate.
The idea was, because it was not easy to find this information, but I think that it was that the normal trees are adapting from season to season.
Getting closer. So let me ask it this way. if there is a new variation of a disease, how will organic trees respond? How will GMOs respond?
Organic trees will respond spontaneously.
And they will adapt, they will find...
adapt.
And why can they do that?
Because they are prepared for changes.
So just the trees alone, or?
No, the general species.
Not just that one species. It's the whole ecosystem. So there is a tree and some plants, and there is a type of animal. The whole ecosystem works together.
Okay.
So, for example, even based on our own knowledge, which we shouldn't use during the test, but in this case, I'm just going to give you an example. It's like a tree is resistant to a type of disease. Then there is a type of insect that prevents that disease. So the insect comes in and the tree helps the insect. But now there is a bird who wants to eat the insect. So the bird comes in and like the bird is adding something else. Then like the whole thing, like the connections that they have, that will help them adapt and find solutions naturally. Now, how will GMOs respond to that? She said they will die.
They will die, yeah.
But why?
So because they will not be able to find solution as quick as they need it.
Not just it. So the speed is the problem.
It's just
because
they
can't
have ability to find a solution.
Okay, that's it.
Because they are changed.
So the problem is not the speed. It's that they cannot find a solution. Why?
Because they are genetically modified.
Okay, but again, why? In this case, so we said the organic ecosystems can do it because
they don't work together with the ecosystem.
Very nice, that's it. So that's the whole thing. Now we have it. Now I'm happy with the summary of the whole thing. So the writer said they are going to be more resilient, especially against insects and pests. Lecturer said maybe against one type of pest, but not against all the other types of pests and diseases. Actually, so now she is saying the other side is even better, the organic trees. If there is a new type of disease, the organic trees can actually find a solution because they work together with the ecosystem, with all the surrounding trees and plants and animals. But the GMOs, they do not have that option because they are not used to working or being in that environment. So they cannot adapt as easily as the organic ones. So for me, point one is complete now.
To the second point, there are hidden costs associated with growing genetically modified.
Similar to the broccoli one. So yes, we make more money here, but we lose some money in other ways. So in the end, it cancels out, or it becomes even more expensive in the end.
Okay.
You said so. I thought you wanted to ask.
Yeah. You just said it. So
okay. So now the thing is, what are the hidden costs? As soon as she says hidden costs, you remember we have the general information. We know, okay, one side says cheaper, one side says more expensive or not cheaper. So now we want the details. Now, I think one common mistake that students usually make, and you did this for the previous part as well, now we need the details. Now we don't want the general idea. We have the general idea here. So I want the details. When you say more expensive or not expensive, give me the examples of why or how or the details.
Modified trees. You see, the company that genetically modified the tree tends to charge tree farmers much more for its seeds than unmodified tree seeds would cost. Also, after you've grown the tree, you can't just collect the seeds and plant a new tree for free. By law, you have to pay the company every time you plant. And finally, genetically modified trees might actually cause even more damage to the local wild trees. You see,
this is the last point. So the money was what? The hidden cost
the hidden cost is that the farmers have to pay for every seeds. So they cannot produce organic seeds. They have to pay to the companies every time they want to plant them.
Mm-hmm. This is actually one of the things I don't like about, but I don't know. I've bought lots of like GMOs, tomatoes, peppers, and so on, and I have got seeds from them, and they actually grow back. So I'm not sure, but I think they only grow for 1 or 2 years. But I'm not
But
sure.
if you will plant the tree, you will not have the fruits.
Oh yeah, that's. But no, but that's true of almost all citrus. For example, lemons or lime. If you take the seed and you plant it, you're not going to get a. You're not going to get flowers unless the tree is somehow pollinated. I don't know. I'm just. I shouldn't mention any of this because I don't have any information about it. But I'm still growing a lot of vegetables and flowers. So let's see. You have to buy the seeds again, which means you may save money here by having more products. And you lose the money because then the next year you have to buy everything again. So overall is not going to be positive. It's a net negative in the end. Or it's just neutral. It's not going to save, it's not going to lose.
Genetically modified trees often grow more aggressively than natural trees do, and genetically modified trees are typically planted among natural trees. As a result, the genetically modified trees outcompete the native trees for resources.
As soon as she said that, you should have known where the conversation is going. And I guessed it, and it was correct. Also, it's the first time I'm doing this specific one. So when she said they grow too strong, almost.
Okay.
So that means now if we have the very, very strong, like unnaturally strong tree in an environment with normal trees, what is going to happen? Well, the competition is basically not balanced anymore. So this tree is going to win over all the other trees, and that kills everything else. It's like, for example, this stupid wine that we have from England. There is like a plant that we have here, and it grows everywhere over everything, and it covers the whole tree. It kills the tree, just like how England just dominates every other country. So it makes a lot of sense that it comes from England. So go on. You were going to say
it will be from France, you will not have any problem.
It was surrendered immediately. A pest comes here. It's like, I'm done.
They will do something like this. Sorry. Maybe next time.
So let's see.
Light, soil nutrients, and water, eventually crowding out the natural trees.
Also, there is another one called kudzu or something. I'm not sure if this is how it is written. There is a species called this, and it destroys jungles. It grows extremely fast. It covers everything from houses, trees, whatever you have.
Okay.
And it just kills everything under it because it's now getting all the sunlight and nutrients. That's also a big issue. I think it was in Australia, it was an issue. Even in America, it is. So, yeah, invasive species. It's going to kill everything else because it's stronger, actually. It's unnaturally strong. It's unfair, basically. You could also call it unfair competition.
Okay.
So now, I mean, we are not going to write it, but just give me a whole, just tell me the introduction and each of the paragraphs as a speaking exercise. So your intro is what?
My intro will be that genetic modification.
First, give a like a definition of it. So what is genetic modification, and then give me writer and lecturer.
It's when we change genes of the trees to produce more fruits, to grow faster, and to withstand other adverse environmental conditions.
Adverse meaning negative in here?
Yes.
Or in general. And that could be long periods of no rain, long periods of dryness, drought, maybe floods even, or extreme sunlight, weather that is too hot or too cold. So, very nice. Moving on to the positions of the writer and lecturer.
So the writer believes that genetic modifications have several benefits. But the speaker believes
Mhm.
that it's not so beneficial as the writer says.
Um, yeah, that's one way. Personally, I would say that although they both agree that GMOs can have their benefits, the writer leans toward the benefits being or benefits outweighing the negative effects, and the lecturer believes that although some benefits exist, or although there are some benefits, the adverse effects or the negative impact that GMOs have will make this not a worthwhile solution.
Okay, and to
To
make it
make it easy,
more easier,
they
may I
both
say that
agree.
they both say that it could be beneficial, but the speaker finds some disadvantages?
Yes, but the lecturer states that the disadvantages can outweigh the advantages. So
Okay.
basically, the disadvantages are more than the
Because I
advantages.
wanted to make it as easy with the information that I gave.
That's always what I recommend. So it has to be in as clear as it can be, but also
Yeah.
it has to be accurate. So in here, you have to be careful not to say that the writer, for example, this is something that a lot of students do. For something like this, they say the writer believes that GMOs are
Is
beneficial.
beneficial.
The lecture, and they use, they say, however, the lecturer disagrees.
Disagree with this. No, I don't want to.
And that will be wrong because the lecturer doesn't disagree that GMOs can have some benefits. So you can say, although the lecturer agrees that there are some benefits, he or she thinks that we still have to avoid them because of all the possible negative effects that they can have. So mention that.
I will write something like the writer and the lecturer believes that GMOs are beneficial, but the speaker shows negative side of the GMOs or some.
No, for that to make it easier, let's have two different sentences. Let's not connect the writer and the lecturer. Let's say the writer, finish the sentence.
The writer believes that there are some benefits of GMOs.
There are many benefits. Okay. To GMOs. Okay, let's finish that one. The lecturer. Now let's go with both sides of the lecturer. So the lecturer
agrees
that there can be some
benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But she shows some negatives or so disadvantages of GMOs.
But can I say she talks about, or she states that there are some negatives as well? Is this a good intro or not?
It is good.
It's not really good because now you are giving a balanced opinion for the lecturer. The lecturer didn't say it can be good, it can be bad.
Okay.
It wasn't like a 50% good, 50% bad. She said can be 10% good, but 90% bad.
Okay.
So it's not that she states that there are negatives as well. There can be some benefits, however, the disadvantages, or there are much more significant disadvantages, or you have to make the disadvantage side stronger. So how do you do it?
So agrees that there can be benefits. However, at the same time, she shows some disadvantages.
Not some. She shows that the disadvantages.
Disadvantages.
You have again, if you say that, it's just some benefits, some disadvantages.
Okay.
I want to make the disadvantage part stronger because the lecturer is not in favor of GMOs. she is just saying, yeah, okay, it has some benefits. But so if I ask you, does the lecturer like GMOs or not? You cannot really say she likes it. Or if I say, does the lecturer support GMOs or not? You cannot say yes. Well, yes, she agrees with like a tiny application that we can have for GMOs. But if you give her the option, she will say no GMOs. So you have to show that. If you say some benefits and some disadvantages, that means she may actually be okay with GMOs.
Okay.
But she is not okay with GMOs. So at the same time, she shows that the disadvantages far outweigh the advantages that the writer mentioned, or just the advantages.
Okay.
Outweigh, it means be more than. Far means actually by a lot. Much more than. The disadvantages are much more important than the advantages. I'm trying to use the easiest words we can use, but I want you to finish it. At the same time, she shows that the disadvantages or that there are extremely destructive or extremely adverse.
At the same time, she shows that there are important disadvantages of GMO.
There are important, but if you say important disadvantages, again, that doesn't tell me whether the lecturer is okay with it or not okay with it. Maybe she is just saying there are advantages and there are disadvantages.
Okay.
Every intro that you have given me is leaning in that direction. So the lecturer agrees that there can be some small benefits. However, she does not think that we should be, for example, investing in, or not invest, we should be using GMOs in the easiest way possible. This makes it very clear what her position is.
Okay.
If you say she talks about advantages and disadvantages, that doesn't really tell me if she is okay with it or not okay. So now you say, yeah, she says there are some benefits. However, overall, she is not going to say yes to GMOs. Now it's more clear. So she says no, but she believes in some benefits. The writer strongly believes in the benefits, and he thinks, of course, we should use them.
Okay, so the writer believes that there are only or mostly benefits, and the lecturer say that okay, it could be there are some so the important.
There are some benefits, but it's mostly negative.
But mostly it's negative.
Very nice. That's a good way of putting it. So the mostly and some are going to separate the strong side of each person's argument.
All right.
So because also maybe you could even say something like this. This time it didn't happen, but you can say the writer says some small, for example, harm, some harm, lots of benefit, and then the lecturer says, for example, some benefit, lots of harm. Think about it this way.
Okay.
So this is what happens in writing task 2, by the way. Each side sometimes addresses a strong point from the other side, but then they give you the stronger side of their own. So they say, well, it is true that we need parks in this area. However, no one can afford houses anymore, so we should focus more on building houses.
Okay.
And the other side says, I understand that the economy is a problem, and I understand that we should build more houses. But if we don't make the environment, if we don't make the neighborhood look good, no one is going to want to live in this area. So like each side addresses the other side's position and you make it strong for them, but you disagree with it in the end. So something like this. Now, paragraph 1, what's happening?
The writer believes that using GMO can produce more resilient seeds.
Trees.
It's
important not to mention seeds because we do have seeds as a separate conversation later.
Different one, yeah.
And when you say stronger, you can even include the example. For example,
for example, he writes about those papaya tree.
Or you can
Which
say
is-
he mentions papayas as an example of a successful GMO that has been resistant to different types of pests. Or ring spot virus, whatever it is. However,
ring spot virus, yeah. Okay, so
however, the lecturer
however, the lecturer believes that it could be beneficial, but
okay, let's change the however's location. The lecturer thinks that it can be positive. However,
he believes that organic trees easily adapt themselves against the pests.
mhm,
So
remember,
he believes that
she is saying that the other side is not strong at doing this. So she is not making the case that organic trees are strong, because even the writer never said that organic trees are not strong. So her point, the lecturer's point, should be that the GMOs are not strong. So you have to put it this way. She says that while organic trees have the ability to adapt and find solutions, now you have to mention the flaw with the other side's position. GMOs cannot
adapt to the new weather or hard weather
or new types of diseases. So if now bring it to a conclusion. So if
the climate will change, the organic ecosystem will be more beneficial than the GMOs.
Not that they will be more beneficial. So if the weather changes, or if there's a sudden change in climate, or if there is a new type of disease, the organic ecosystems survive, and then they can adapt.
GMO will die.
Very nice. So that's the thing. It's not that the benefit goes up and down. It's just the whole ecosystem dies if the weather changes. So remember, the lecturer is trying to tell us that the other side's position is not strong. Now, because the writer never said that I hate organic trees or organic trees are not good. So that's not the point. That's a good thing to keep in mind. The writer also agrees that organic trees are good. And organic, like nature is beautiful and nature is strong. We are not arguing that. The writer is not arguing against the lecturer. The lecturer is arguing against the writer's points. So, second paragraph.
The writer believes that GMOs trees can be
can produce more
fruits, wood, and other products, and they are more beneficial, or it could be higher income of these trees. However,
let's not start with however, because now we need the lecturer to agree, but then say something contradictory. So the lecturer agrees
agrees, but explain that there are many costs of the GMOs. The farmers have to buy the GMOs trees seeds to plant them. So it produces.
With every plant you have to buy the seeds.
But they are expensive.
They have to buy it every year. They're expensive, and you have to buy them all the time, every year. And why do you have to buy them again?
Because we cannot collect the seeds, so
from
we have
the
to
GMOs.
buy them again. So the income will not be as high as the writer says.
There we go. Or this thing may cancel out the savings that we had from the production. So very nice.
So when I said, so can I say that? So we have the higher income, but at the same time we have high costs.
Yeah. So while the income from the production or from the fruits can go up, comma,
Yeah.
the cost will bring the overall profits down due to the cost of
Okay.
seeds and
So
so on.
okay, profit downs. Okay. Got it.
And you can use while, you can use although, you can use but, you can just write two separate
Because I
sentences.
remember from my previous test, it was mostly like this. It was advantage that I remember about the sheeps.
Mhm.
Uh,
Sheep is plural. You don't have to say yes for it.
sheep.
Uh-huh.
Not the animal, but the sheep on the I mean big boat.
That is not a sheep, it's a ship.
Ship. Okay.
Say it like this.
Ship.
Uh-huh. And for this one, say it like these.
Sheep.
Uh-huh. So, because if you try to say it like this, a lot of foreigners have this issue. And it doesn't sound correct. Even if you say it fast, you say sheep. It's still the animal. If you want this one to sound correct, say it like an like bed or get or ship.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So the ship's on the sea. Okay?
Okay.
And was it like the advantages and disadvantages of a
it was
specific
this
type of ship?
advantage for the income, but disadvantage for the ecosystem, and it was advantage because we can have big cargo area, but we need bigger harbor or something like this. It was
Remember something. Each paragraph only talks about one thing, one topic.
thing. Yeah,
So if it's money in here, other side will also be about
it
money.
has to be money. Yeah.
So if this part is about resilience, the other part is also about the opposite of resilience, which is being vulnerable, being like they can be damaged, they can be harmed easily. So, and the last one, also, you can think about it this way. One side says it protects wildlife. So the other side should say it damages wildlife. It has to be that. It cannot be anything else. And how does it damage wildlife? Because it's invasive. It invades the environment and kills everything else. Yeah. So tell me the last paragraph.
Writer explained that using GMO trees can protect the wildlife.
How?
But the lecturer disagrees.
Wait a second. How? Why would the GMO save wildlife?
How? Because GMO trees are growing up faster.
Uh-huh.
So we can use them, they would, or planting them give resources faster.
Uh-huh. So instead of using the natural forest,
instead of using natural trees. Okay, got it.
And this means
that's how we will protect the wildlife.
Leave the forest alone. Not really protecting them, as it is not harming them.
Okay.
So we are not destroying them, not that we are really protecting them. Now it's important that you show these steps in here.
Okay.
Because you cannot just say using GMOs protects wildlife. Because then I'm like, how is
connection?
It doesn't have the connection. Show the connection.
Okay.
You don't have to go into a lot of details as much as this guy did. Okay. But you can say the writer believes that by using GMOs, because they grow faster and they produce more, we are more inclined to rely on them instead of using the natural forest and the naturally growing trees in rainforest. Okay. That means we do not have to deforest this area or whatever it is. So that's why it protects wildlife, because it gives us a better alternative that we can use instead of the natural trees. Other side?
But the lecturer disagrees with this statement because he says that GMOs they are starting unfair competition.
Does the lecturer disagree with that last part? So does she disagree that GMOs grow faster, for example?
No. She said that the GMOs are growing faster, but
and that's actually the problem. That they grow too fast. They grow too strong.
Fast. So it becomes invasive, and it produces the unfair competition. So the natural, organic trees will have problems with the soil and sun.
Uh-huh. And
So
why? Why
it
will
will
they have
be
a
destroy the natural wildlife.
very nice. And when you say an unfair competition, remember this is just the notes I took for myself. So I want you to elaborate on them.
Okay.
What do we mean by an unfair competition?
So what does it mean? It means that invasive grow of GMOs will give more chances to GMOs and
Actually, it takes the chances away from them.
take
When you say
okay,
competition, what do plants need to compete for? What is the competition between plants?
sun,
Water,
water,
sun, soil,
sun,
nutrients,
soil.
basically. So you have to explain it that way. Because these trees grow too fast and too strong, they can take away the nutrients and the water and sunlight from the organically growing trees, which can result in those species dying down or dying out or going
Okay.
extinct or just they disappearing because they cannot get any nutrients. Why? Because this actually grows really, really fast. So the
Hmm.
lecturer actually agrees with this, but while the writer says they grow so fast, which is positive, the lecturer says they are growing too fast, which is more than we need, more than it should be. And it's negative, basically. So, yeah, that would be
Okay.
a good writing. Now, I'm sure your writing, the main issue is not going to be the grammar or the vocabulary. It's just knowing and making sure that you are getting both sides accurately and
Okay.
what they are agreeing and disagreeing with. For example, with this last
I
one,
have to remember that if I said their about or them, I'm talking about right information, right part of the previous.
of course, your subject, verb, and object need to agree in every sentence. And that's a very common problem too. So, for example, you have two subjects, and then instead of they, you refer to them as it, for example. Or
Okay.
instead of not, for example, using the verb with have
Okay.
or go, you actually use singular and say goes or plays or has. That's a very common
Okay.
issue.
And
Now, you know what would help a lot, Magic? If we actually had some writings to work on that we planned some 3 months ago.
I I I can only think how will you be surprised when you see one day in the morning, oh my god, he sent it.